Good morning. Good morning. It's Spruce Society time. I'm going to be sharing about color personalities and consistency. So, my name is Yvonne Yeji, and I am a Bay Area transplant now in the Pacific Northwest. And I wanted to let you know, if you're ever up in Portland, Oregon, and you want to come visit me, come and say hi. We're like 20 minutes from the airport. We live in Washington, but Portland, everyone knows where Portland is. So let's see. I learned about color personalities. Hi, Diane, Trisha, Margie. Hi, you guys. Color personalities. I learned about them when I was doing Young Living, but when I was in college, I took a psychology class or something, and I learned about Myers-Briggs and all these other different kind of other personality tests, and I thought they were really boring. I couldn't figure out letters. I was like, am I an IFP, LR, LMNOP, or like, I don't understand what that was. So when I got to learn about color personalities, everything kind of clicked. It was like, okay, as a physical therapist, I was a body detective. As an antique collector, I was like a history buff and a detective of like, where are these things made? Who owned them? That kind of stuff. So as an entrepreneur, which we all are, knowing color personalities is like being a customer service detective and also a leader detective, because kind of have to know what makes people tick, how to communicate with them, because that's where you're going to grow. You're going to grow your business, right? So if you know your top 2 colors from the Jacob Adamo color personality test, put them in the comments and we'll see what color everyone is. I am blue, 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 yellow with a little bit of red and like 0.3 green. I don't even know if it registers or not. So I'm working in my business, that's my like real personality, but in my business, I'm trying to like level them out and bring a little bit more red and green into my leadership skills so that I can be more effective, because that's kind of what we all want, right? So I guess the other thing is, so knowing your color personalities, knowing your family's color personalities, and then also knowing your team personalities, and maybe even some of your customer personalities. I know when I see certain people pop up in my project broadcast or in my Facebook Messenger or in a group, and they ask me certain questions, I'm like, oh, that person's green. They just want to know the details. If someone else says, hey, just tell me what this is and how to order it, they're red. And other people are like, well, how do I tell my sister about this? She's not in this group. Or, so that's someone that's yellow. The blues, they never comment because they're out doing something fun or crazy. So anyways, we're going to talk about consistency and color personalities today. I don't know if everyone knows everything about color personalities, so I'm going to go over them really quickly. I have notes, so you might see me scrolling around here, because as a blue, I can go off on a tangent, so help keep me on track. Okay, so reds, they want to know what. They are goal-oriented, they love contests, so this Kona thing is really up their alley, right? They like competing, they like ranks, all that kind of stuff matters to them. They like achievement when they are ranking up, or if they made a lot of sales, or if they got Kona points, they like to be recognized, so shout them out. Consistency, they want to reach their goals, so they're going to do things methodically and consistently. They don't want you to motivate them because they already have that internal motivation. Sometimes they need the motivation to expand and show it for others, and other people not in their color personality. They are very consistent because they know how to make things work. They like to attain their goals. Sometimes they are so strong in attaining their goals that they miss other ways of getting there that are less intense, that might be for other color personalities. They show up on time, they're present, they have lots of success stories to share. They kind of assume that everyone else should be able to do what they do because that's the way their brain thinks. They cut to the chase, and there's not a lot of small talk. They have lots of business to do. They have people to see, places to go. So when you get to the blue personalities, these are my people. So we are motivated by fun. Why am I doing this? Why? Right? They tend to do things inconsistently, like not regularly. We don't like to do things over and over. Routine is kind of like a scary word. So the more people zig and follow this, the more we zag. We can sometimes drive our families and teams very crazy because we're very inconsistent. This sounds good today, that sounds good tomorrow, and I can't remember what I said yesterday, so we're going to change the plan. We're very last minute doers, and we kind of fly by the seat of our pants. We often get distracted or lost in what we're doing. So consistency for blue used to be a very dreadful word, to be honest. I need it to be fun in order to show up. So, I know when things work, but when it works and it always works, then I kind of get bored. And so blues like to kind of zig and zag around. We want to do all the fun things. Sometimes people think we're scatterbrained. It helps for us to be consistent, to have blinders on, right? Like clear the desk, clear your space, put on music to focus you or whatever you need to do. And just that's it. All the distractions, oh, the timer went off for the eggs, leave it. Just kind of get what you need to get done. Let's get to the greens. So the greens are when and how people. They are motivated by order and directions and rules. They thrive on knowing all the things. They are the researchers. They take lots of notes. They make checklists. They make Excel sheets. They organize things. They are really, really, really good resources for knowing where you saw something and how to find it. They like to know what you expect. So to be consistent, they kind of need to know ahead of time what are the expectations. And for all of us Oilers, there are no expectations. It's kind of like the expectations you set for yourself. So they like to make checklists so they know that they're not missing anything. They can sometimes get stuck in analysis paralysis, and sometimes they need help seeing outside the lines. They don't like making mistakes, and in the world of network marketing, things are constantly changing. So they want to be always up to date, and they want to know the latest news, and they want everyone else that they know to know the same thing. So consistency, they do research, they know answers, they have references, they have recipes. It's all there. You just have to ask them to find it. So our yellows are our people who are motivated by who. Who can they help? Who will benefit? Who's included? Who's left out? Who needs this product? Who needs this group? Who needs this information? These are the people that are our community builders, and they are the people gatherers. They show consistency when they help other people. They have a hard time saying no because they don't want anyone's feelings to be hurt, and they don't want anyone to be left out. Consistency for yellows might look like monthly classes, many different kinds of dates and times so everyone can make an effort to be there. They are the helpers. They're consistent, and they know people's stories, and they know what's going on in people's lives outside of oils. So some examples of how our color personalities show up with Oilers is someone might ask, hey, I need a seasonal allergy recipe or tips. The reds will say LLP, use it all the time, in a diffuser, in a capsule, in a roller. They might just say LLP because that gets to the point, right? Our greens might say, hey, what size roller do you have? Or what size capsule are you using? Which diffuser do you have? And then they can give you the number of the drops and probably include some information about lemon lavender, peppermint, and explain how it came up, how we came up with the name, and then they might divert them to the seasonal essentials blend and explain why that might be a little better. The yellows, they'll make the blend for you and deliver it or send it to you, and they will even go on a Zoom. They might show you how to make it. They'll show you how to make a capsule. They'll show you how to fill the diffuser, make a diffuser bomb. They'll check on you during that day, and they may tag you in an educational post because they want you to feel like you can find the information later. The blues probably read this question about like, what do you use for seasonal allergies? And they may or may not get back to you that in a timely manner. They might have a fun, colorful graphic to send you, and they probably have a funny story about how they ended up needing to use it. So I was also asked to talk about consistency. So that was a really hard word for me, and it still is for me to swallow. Consistency. Ew. I have a tendency to want to do things on my own time. I want it to be interesting, and I want it to be fun. If it sounds like work, then I don't want to do it. I mean, even when I was working as a physical therapist, we had an 8 o'clock meeting. I knew it was 8 o'clock. It was mandatory. But the blue in me said, well, I'll just be like really late. So I'd show up at 8:03, 8:05, 8:08, whatever. I just knew I wasn't going to follow the rules because it didn't sound fun. I still showed up, but it wasn't fun. I did make it fun because I was late. Anyways, so I decided to try out a different method of being consistent. I did Kristen Boss's like power hour, and it was at 5 o'clock in the morning for me, which meant I had to get up at 4:30. So that was something I had to get my head around. But it really, really worked. We worked on IPAs, we worked on connecting, and at first I was really resistant because I felt like, oh, that means I have to go to bed earlier. I'm going to miss out on everything that's going on at night. This is really hard, except really nothing was happening late at night except that we were watching like Antiques Roadshow or something. What I really gained by being consistent at 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning doing IPAs was that I could get all my work done for Young Living in an hour, like seriously. And that meant the rest of the day I could work on gardening, I could go antiquing, I could go visit friends, I could make, make food, I could go can, I could go do all kinds of stuff. It really gave me time for other stuff by getting up early. So consistency, I'll give you some examples of that for me and our group that did power hours at 5 o'clock in the morning. Now we do them at 6. It's engaging, commenting. We do happy birthday check-ins, like Facebook tells you who's got a birthday. So go to your private messages, leave them a voice message, or type something for them. When I noticed that if I just posted on their page, it kind of gets lost in the whole Facebook thing, and it's hard for people to pay attention to it. But if you write a question like, hey, how are you celebrating today? I really wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Let's connect when we have time. That stops them from the scroll and really gets them to engage. And if you leave a voicemail message or a voice message on their Facebook or Instagram or whatever, however you do it, people tend to listen and then they will respond back. So the connecting and engaging is a little bit more personal. You can do your friends check-ins. You can start at the bottom of your list and just start liking things or commenting on people's posts that you haven't connected with for a while. You can look into new accounts. You can look into niche areas of whatever you want to talk about, hobbies, interests, anything oily or non-oily, hopefully non-oily, so that you can meet more people and just comment. Like I saw this lady post something about a kid in a swing, and she's like, oh, this is so peaceful, I get so much work done. And I commented like, wow, if they made that in a mom size, I totally get one. like 200 people have liked that comment. Now I'm going to go back and check on those 200 people and see like who they are, and, you know, say, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could really find one of those in a mom, you know, mom size, like how old are your kids, or, you know, something to like engage them. So other things you can do consistently is do stories, post about your favorite 5, or post about sales, or post about, you know, candles, or ditch and switch, or whatever. There's so many things that we can post about. So other things you can do consistently is do classes. And I've changed my method of talking about classes. I don't call them classes. And I don't put anything oily in the graphic, because I notice that people will see that and think, oh, she's just going to try and sell me something when I go there. So I've done seed bombs, and we make a plant spray, or we talk about putting digize and lavender in the soil, or we talk about natural weed or insect repellent that you can make, or that you know, which oils to use. I've done a bracelet making class. I posted about that, and it's got lava beads in it, which we will add oils to when people come, but I don't talk about oils, making oily diffuser bracelets, because people are like, oh, all she talks about is oils. So let's see. When I talk about Power Hour, let's talk about what that means. So it's 30 to 60 minutes when you show up on Zoom, you turn off your mic and or your camera, and you work. So you do IPAs. And if you need IPA ideas, there's tons of IPA ideas online. Google for IPAs, you know, IPAs for business, IPAs for women entrepreneurs, IPAs for the month of May. I mean, there's a lot. You can create class or post contents. You can find your niche or your ideal client. You can create emails and texts. You can learn about new products, or tag people in relevant posts about what you're learning about. You can send graphics. You can make recipes, or text someone, say, hey, I thought about you. Here's something that might be helpful. You can make samples. You can be getting in-person class supplies ready, ordered. Anything that gets your business moving forward. It can be 30 minutes. It can be 60 minutes. It could even be like social media prompts. And you guys, this is what we do. We decide like, hey, let's ask everyone, do they always sleep on the same side of the bed, even when they're traveling? And then like, that's kind of what we post about. There's so many things you can post about. You just want to show up. So when Reds show up, they usually show up, their mic is off, their head is down, they get to work, they're writing out, and they're working on their headings. Like they have, these 5 things are the things I'm going to work on for 5 minutes or 10 minutes during the Power Hour. I'm going to connect, engage, educate, make an offer, follow up. And oftentimes they get immersed in their work and they don't look up to see if anyone else needs help or to read comments. They announce that they're doing this Power Hour in their official business group, and that's the one place that they announce it, and then, you know, people may or may not see it. So direct sales to a Red means direct sales. Like they have no problem making offers. They just sometimes get frustrated because they're like, man, I've told this person 8 times they should buy this product. Why haven't they bought it? So direct really means direct to Reds because they know what they want to do. Consistency matters to them. In the Power Hours, they just need to know like the topics, and then they get to work. The Greens, when they do a Power Hour, they need to know what they need to do before they show up to the Power Hours, so they know what to do during the Power Hour. So they want to know ahead of time. Who should I connect to? How do I find them? What do I say? What does it mean to engage? Where do I educate? How do I educate? What is allowable? What's not allowable? What does an offer mean? How do I make an offer? How often do I follow up? How do I do it? Which method, which platform? When do I make the offer? How often do I follow up? Kind of like the list of things to do when they show up for a Power Hour. They sometimes get caught up in making offers, and sometimes they get caught up in giving too much information to people. Follow-up skills are really good for greens. Direct sales for a lot of greens means answering and giving information directly to people. So that's what consistency looks like to them. The yellows want, when they show up for a power hour, they want to check in with people who show up. And if someone doesn't show up, they tend to check in on them and see if they need the link to join, or how's life going, what's going on, how come they're not making it. They also want to invite more people so no one gets left out. Like they have brand partners, so they want all their brand partners to show up. They are consistent in inviting people. They want as many people to join the power hour as possible. They will read the chats. They will answer questions. They will look at the group on the gallery view and make sure no one looks confused or has a question. Their consistency is definitely showing up for people and creating a feeling of community. They spend a lot of time connecting and engaging. They make offers all day, but it's to help. They are really good at helping people. Direct sales to yellows means directly helping people. And then those people will come back and buy when they're ready. There's no forcefulness for that. For the blues, when they show up, they like the general idea of the power hour because it's just like, it's fun to show up and see who's going to show up. It's not that we always use the headings or the prompts and we tend to go off on our own tangent. We're just there for the fun of showing up online together with other people. We are consistent in being inconsistent. We're really good at connecting and engaging. Sometimes we get lost and forget to make offers. And if we make an offer, when we make an offer, it's usually involving something fun. So anyways, that's a little bit about color personalities and consistency. I'd love to hear and see what color personality you are and how you show up consistently in your business. Okay, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later.